The main recurring theme in reviews on Shadow of the Erdtree have been about its difficulty. More specifically, its boss difficulty. Now, I know I can one-shot every boss in Elden Ring at level 1, and I know that I can one-shot every boss in the DLC if I level, but I'm really curious to find out, can I one-shot every boss in the DLC without leveling? Because if I can kill every boss in Shadow of the Erdtree in one attack without leveling the entire time, then I feel like most people are probably just missing something. Now, as this is a one-shot challenge, the first and most important rule is that every enemy must be killed with one attack. This is a melee only run. I will not be using spells and incantations. The other major rule is that I cannot level. I'm going to remain a level 1 Wretch the entire playthrough, and I will not use any glitches. If you enjoy these runs, do me a solid and smash that like button real quick, and if you want to see more of them, don't forget to subscribe. Now, I started things off using the same route that I did in my first one-shot challenge run, and I'm going to put a detailed video up on that route sometime next week, but I'll explain the basics of it to save you guys some time and give you an idea as to what I'm doing. I use this skip to go around Castle Ensis, and this is not a glitch. All you have to do is jump down the rocks to the east of Castle Ensis and then unlock the Spirit Spring. As you can see in the clip, the easiest way to go about doing that is to use Mohg's or Margit's Shackle, and this gives you access to the Shadow Altus where you can unlock the majority of the map. At this point, I just run around the map grabbing as many Shadow Tree fragments as possible. For those of you that are newer to the DLC, you use these to increase your Shadow Tree blessing level, which makes you do more damage and take less damage. So after grabbing as many Shadow Tree fragments as I could find and increasing my Shadow Tree blessing level as high as I could, it was time to go and start grabbing some items. Now the first item that we're after is in the Bellerot Tower Settlement. This area is just northwest of where you start the DLC, and we're specifically going in there to farm this Horned Warrior here to try to get the Horned Warrior Helm. One of the main issues of playing at level 1 is not having the stats to use the stronger weapons, and wearing this helm will give us a very much needed +5 to strength. At this point, I made my way through the small cave in the Shadow Altus to the Templetown ruins. In a chest at the top of the ruins is the two-handed sword talisman. This talisman increases the damage of two-handed weapons by 15%. This is a much needed addition to help our physical damage on things like the Giant Crusher in our 4th talisman slot. At this point, I made my way around and up to the ruins to one-shot the hippo up there because it drops a Shadow Tree fragment. Then I made my way all the way down the river and one-shot the 2 hippos that were over there for 2 more Shadow Tree fragments. From here, I made my way down into the fissure by the Cerulean Coast and I one-shot the boss that was down there. This boss is called the Putrescent Knight and he has 20,612 HP. Now from the Cerulean Coast, I went a little bit northwest through the small cave to go and grab the lightning perfume bottle. This weapon is just ground loot in the small pond over there. You just have to be careful because there's constant lightning strikes in the water all around it. And there's also going to be massive lightning rams and one in particular that's going to keep trying to roll by and hit you. Now once I had the lightning perfume bottle, I went to pick up the Rolling Sparks Ash of War. This is dropped by a flying scarab on a small ledge overlooking that settlement just before you get to Shadow Keep. I found the easiest way to get this is just to go up to the top of the ledge, clear the enemies out, and then shoot it out of the sky. This Ash of War is currently extremely broken with the lightning perfume bottle. I can use this at level 1 with some stat boosting gear, and I've seen it do insane damage. I really want to see what I can do with it at level 1. So I went ahead and threw the Rolling Sparks Ash of War on the lightning perfume bottle, and then I took the lightning perfume bottle, went to the blacksmith and upgraded it all the way to +25. And this is my first time ever using this weapon, so I'm pretty excited to see how far I can scale it. And I could think of no better way to test it than to go and see if we could be the first person to one-shot Commander Gaius at level 1. This boss has 33,871 HP. He's also extremely difficult because of his speed. Now the main reason I chose to tackle him first is because just behind him on the ground there's 5 Shadow Tree fragments, so if you're holding an extra fragment like I am, that means you can get 2 Shadow Tree blessing levels from this. Now at this point I have to make my way through the Darklight Catacombs to get access to the Abyssal Woods, so I have to one-shot a really annoying boss named Jori, Elder Inquisitor, and he's got 30,506 HP. With Jori out of the way, we can finally make our way to the Abyssal Woods for the Aged One's Exultation and a few more Shadow Tree fragments. In order to get the Aged One's Exultation, you're going to have to take out this Aging Untouchable, and you can only damage this enemy after successfully parrying its grab attack. The Aged One's Exultation is an amazing new talisman in the DLC that we can use to further buff with Madness, and it works very similar to the Lord of Blood and Kindred of Rot's Exultations, in that it will give you a 20% damage buff for 30 seconds after proccing Madness, so we'll definitely be adding this to our buff routine. With our new and improved buff routine, it's time to head to the Shadow Keep and one-shot Messmer. Most people consider it a one-shot to one-hit each of his mandatory phases, but I'm going to take all 38,981 damage in one attack.
Narca, a curse upon thee.
After one of my favorite one-shots to date, it's time to move on to Romina. So I made my way through the ruins and up to the Church of the Bud. And just for reference, Romina has 35,798 HP. Now it's time to burn the Sealing Tree and make my way towards Radahn. Also, I now have access to 3 more Shadow Tree blessings that are on the way to Radahn, so I grabbed those first and raised my blessing level a little bit more. As I now have access to the entire map, I could go and find the rest of the Shadow Tree fragments, but first I want to see if we need them or if I can just finish one-shotting everything in the game at Shadow Tree blessing level 18. Now before one-shotting Radahn, I'm going to go back and take care of a couple other main bosses that I know you guys want to see. The first of which is the Divine Beast Dancing Lion in the Bellerot Tower Settlement. It's got 22,571 HP. The other main boss that I know everybody wants to see one-shot after struggling with her is Rellana, the Twin Moon Knight, who's over in Castle Ensis, and Rellana has 29,723 HP. Now it's time for the part of the run that everybody's been waiting for, the world's first ever level 1 one-shot of Radahn. I'm going to take all 46,134 HP in a single hit with no glitches. I'm really excited about the video next week. It's an insane project that we've been working on for months. So be sure to turn on your notifications, and if you're still here, be sure to smash that like button. Appreciate you guys. Stay dangerous.